Let us begin today. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhiriditam kalmashapaham shravanamangalam srimadaatatam bhuvi grinanti e bhurida janaha. Now, previously in our discussion, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling Shakti alone is the root of the universe. This is the realization, this is the ultimate truth. But sometimes some people, they do not understand properly what does it mean Shakti. In one place it says that Ekaham bahushyamavihi, I am alone, I like to be many. And in other Upanishads and in other Veda also, it clearly mentioned that in the beginning there was only one, and that was absolute. There was no two. Then how come that so many things have come? Then they are explaining that one wished to be many. Eka aham, I am alone. Bahushyamavihi, I like to be many. The same one becoming many. So one is the consciousness, then he is thinking, and immediately the whole creation is coming into being. So always there is a mystery. Even the science is going on searching how the universe was created. This universe, how it was created, they are going on forwarding so many other theories, Big Bang and all this. But in the Vedanta it says it was the supreme consciousness which is known as the Brahman. And it thought that it will become many, it became many. So it is the manifestation of that type. So this way it goes. And then one gentleman has written me a question, that if it is the will of God that this universe has been created and all these things are going on happening, then why should we try to realize God? Why should we meditate? Why should we do all the good things, morality? What is the necessity? Because if we are the part and parcel of God, if it is the will of God, then we are nothing. This is a very old question. Majority of the time people will be asking. Now the answer is, the moment you are thinking, I have nothing to do, who is this I? When you are addressing yourself as I, and I have nothing to do anything because God has created me, and God in His mercy, in His play, in His divine Leela is doing everything, I have nothing to do. Who is this I? If you think that you are the part and parcel of God, the question won't arise. Because you are the part and parcel of the God. So if you are not thinking that you are that part of God or you are God yourself, then you are separate from God. Then the question of going back to the root is coming. So that is the thing we have been given, particularly the human being is having the ego, that I consciousness. Again, that human being has been given the capacity to discriminate what is good and what is bad. And that is the reason only human being can reach to the source, to the God realization, etc., utilizing his capacity. And what is that? Shakti. Sri Ramakrishna is telling. Shakti alone is the root of the universe. And what is this Shakti? The primal energy. And again, immediately, Sri Ramakrishna himself is mentioning all the Upanishads, and our scripture is also mentioning that this Shakti has two aspects, avidya and vidya. In the Hinduism, in our philosophy, it is very clear. The good and bad is coming from the same God. And this is the question, is a question, is a mystery, how God, who is all good, can create bad. And if the bad things are there in God again, then the God is also affected by the bad. Sri Ramakrishna, he gives the answer, very simple. And that's why I have given the name Panchama Veda. It is the knowledge. And that knowledge is given by Sri Ramakrishna, the modern day Bhagavan, the Ishvara. And in such a simple manner, the snake is having the venom, but it is the poison. But nothing happens to it. But when it bites to someone else, that affects. So similarly, God is having both good and bad, vidya and avidya. But it is not having any reaction, it is neutral. So the bad is also, the avidya is also coming from God. So that is the reason we have to understand this. The power of God is doing all these things. Then what is the religion means? Realization of the truth. What is this truth? That the whole universe has been created by God. This is first. I also am created by God. Okay. Now I feel separated from God, because otherwise I would have said, I am God myself. Since I am not telling that, since all the time I am feeling differently, I am thinking that I am small, I am doing this and that, this is good, this is bad, all this thought, that means there is something that is make me different than the God. And what is that something? Avidya. And what is religion? Going back to the source. And the source is the truth, the knowledge. And all the religion is nothing but the process to go back to the source, to God. And religion means knowing and merging with the Creator. Knowing and merging with the Creator. That is exactly what has happened in the life of all the great saints and sages. Everywhere. In different religions, in different times, in different places. But the problem again, that they cannot express it clearly. Why? Sri Ramakrishna again. He is giving the example. A doll made of salt. And it went to the sea to measure how much water it is. It's there in the sea. What happened? It never came back. It never came back to give the report, because the salt is made out of that water. It is the source. When you go to the source and you are mixed with it, there is no chance to come back and tell others. And that is the reason no one could say properly what happens. We will find that here itself, when the Master Mahashaya, he is asking, what happens when one realizes the God with form and God without form? What is the difference between these two realizations? Sri Ramakrishna whispered something at his ear, but the Master Mahashaya didn't disclose it, didn't mention it. Perhaps it was not possible for him to disclose. So that is and what happens after the realization? Here again we find that Sri Ramakrishna is telling, see, after the realization, after attaining God, one forgets his external splendor, the glories of his creation. This is the first criteria. How I will know that he or she has realized God? the first and foremost thing is to see whether he is having desire, craving, hankering for the worldly things. If it is there, then he has not. Whatever may be the claim, this is very clear. The moment anyone is thinking even in a subtle way, even within the mind, no one is knowing what is happening within the mind. So, but he himself or she herself knows what is going on in his mind. So the moment one is declaring that I have realized God and I can take you to the God, the only one thing that we have to notice, whether that personality, that person is craving for the worldly things, name, fame, and jewelry, and the property, and all these things, anything, it is sure that he has not realized God. And the moment one realizes God, he don't need anything, because I have reached the source. What I am going to do with the other things? Those who are working under the king, they always try to get their salary increased. But the prince never. He is not in the payroll of the king. He knows this is my kingdom. I am going to be the king someday. Everything is mine. He doesn't bother about the salary scale. Why? This is the thing. Why we are so very careful about the world? Because we have not seen God. Because we do not know about God. So all this that we are seeing externally is attracting us. Sri Ramakrishna is telling, after attaining God, one forgets his external splendor, the glories of his creation. Then he is giving the reference, Hanumana. Hanumana, some people were asking, what is the date? And you are not fasting, and you know this is the day. Then Hanumana said, I don't know anything of the day of the week, or the fortnight, or the position of the stars. I don't care. I think of Rama alone. Except Rama, there is nothing in the mind. And that's why those who are externally thinking, today is a very holy day, we have to fast. Today is this, I have to bathe. Today is this, I have to go. Because external things are there in the mind. And those who are going on thinking of Rama, then why they will do it? So this is one thing is very clear, that in the beginning we must have to do it. And then slowly, when we reach to the ultimate, then it doesn't matter. Because for whom we are doing? For Rama. And the Rama is already with me. One person came and he was sitting before Sri Ramakrishna, and then the moment it was dusk, evening, he took out his japamala and tried to do japa. Sri Ramakrishna gave the hint. Ekhane abar oshab keno. Why you are doing all these things here? Ekhane, here means you are sitting before God. And the japa and taking counting the beads for what? To see the God. And now you, fool, closed your eyes and taking the name of japa, God. I am here before you. So that is the thing one has to understand. And Sri Ramakrishna says, how far all the scripture will take us? What is the benefit of the scripture? Only it works as a map. And by following the map, when we have reached the place, I throw the map. It is not necessary. So similarly, all the scriptures talks about God, give the description about God, and in a different way they are telling us, and these are the hints. So how I will know a holy person, a realized soul? In the Bhagavad Gita also, Sri Krishna is giving a big list. And here Sri Ramakrishna is telling, you will never have any desire for the worldly things. And then he is giving the example of the Hanumana. And then Master himself is telling, after I had experienced Samadhi, his own experience is telling, giving the hint, that he is God himself. After I had experienced samadhi, my mind curved intensely to hear only about God and nothing else. So that these are the things that we must remember. See, one couple, they rang me and then they were telling that their daughter purchased a Bhagavad Gita that I have, in Bengali I have given that Gita they have got. Now they are telling, the moment we get up in the early morning and after doing all our thing, we put on that and go on seeing that Gita, hearing that Gita, because both are retired whole day, and after the noon little rest, again we will see the Gita. It's not that they are liking my Gita, but they are attracted with the devotional words. Maybe that the way I am explaining, that they are liking, that differs man to man, person to person. But what I am telling, it's not the story that I am telling. I am only reciting Bhagavad Gita slokas and then explaining in my own way. But if the desire to know about God, love for God was not there, these words of Bhagavad Gita would not have attracted them. So at least to some extent, this is the example, and we can understand the mind is becoming pure. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling, my mind is too craved intensely to hear only about God. Then he is telling one thing more. He is talking about Krishna Kishore, a person who was a Brahmin, very austere Brahmin, but he had faith. What is that? That each and every soul is nothing but God. The moment you take the name of God, it is so holy, it can make anyone holy. Krishna Kishore, he was traveling, he felt thirsty, he wanted to drink water, and he found one person, very low caste, he is carrying water. He said, "Can you please give me a little water to drink?" "How can I, sir? You are a Brahmin. I am a low caste person." "It doesn't matter. You only chant the name of Shiva. Say that Shivoham, Shivoham, and you are pure." The tremendous faith in the name of God. Once I have uttered the name of God, nothing is going to happen to me. The tremendous faith. So what happens when you realize God? First and foremost, no attraction for the worldly things. Second, a confirmed faith, tremendous faith, that by taking the name of God, I can achieve anything and everything, because name of God is the most holy thing. Once you have uttered with all devotion, everything is achieved. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, if anyone has uttered sincerely once my name, he will surely come to me. Look at it. Only once. We are taking the name so many times, but along with the name, so many other names are also coming. When I am telling Sri Rama, along with Sri Rama, all Ravana and Ravana's whole family is coming. So that is the reason. When I say Rama, it is only Rama. So he said, repeat the name of Shiva. And this thing, who can do? When you see the Rama, Sri Rama, he is accepting Shabari. Why? She was going on repeating the name of Sri Rama. She became purified. And whatever she was offering with so much of love for God, everything was purified. Never cared about the family that she belonged to, that Shabari, though apparently low caste, she became the great devotee of Sri Rama. There were so many people at that time of Rama. Who knows them? But each and every one who has read the Ramayana will surely know about Shabari. Anyone expounding Ramayana, the life of Rama, will talk about Shabari. So this is the immortality. Why? Because that low caste lady came in contact with the God. How? Through love and faith. Rama will surely come. And when she was offering, Rama accepted. And again we find in the life of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was not touching anything if it is not given by a holy person. But the same Ramakrishna, without any hesitation, drank water which was brought from a hotel. Hotel was run by the British, and the cooks and others who were Muslim, they touched the glass, and it was a glass that previously Orthodox Hindu never touched it. Even then, Sri Ramakrishna said, oh, this is clear water, no problem, give me. Hygienic. But at the same time, not creating any difference. Those who has realized God, the third thing is no discrimination between the caste, creed and language or gender, anything. Because each and everything is made of God. God has created. It is the reflection of God. God in different forms. This is the unique thing. So how I will know that one has realized God? These are the things. And whether those who are aristocrat, educated, rich people, can they talk about God? No, not at all. When these things the Sri Ramakrishna was explaining, suddenly he said, one day Jatindra came to the garden of Jadumallik. Jadumallik's garden is adjacent to Dakshinesha. Jatindra was a very famous person. He belonged to the Tagore family, that Rabindranath's family. And Rabindranath's Tagore family was very rich, and they were cultured family. And because of the Rabindranath's father, he started one separate, a little separate from the traditional Hindus, the Brahma Samaj, so people used to know them. When Sri Ramakrishna came to know that Jatindranath has come to the next, the garden house of Jadumallik, he went there. I was there too. Then he was inquiring, because he is an educated person, and what is the view of his about religion, about the human life, etc. I asked him, what is the duty of man? Isn't it our duty to think of God? And Jatindra replied, we are worldly people. How is it possible for us to achieve liberation? Look at it. Complete doubtful. Even King Yudhishthira had to have a vision of hell. Even King Yudhishthira had to have a vision of hell. In the Mahabharata they say, as because he was telling, Yudhishthira said that the elephant they killed, Bhima killed the elephant, but Yudhishthira said, your son. And for that he had to see the hell. He need not to go, but he had to see that. Sri Ramakrishna was not at all happy. And he said, this made me very angry. I said to him, what sort of man are you? Talking to Jatindra, that Tagore. Of all the incidents of Yudhishthira's life, you remember only he is seeing hell. There are so many other things that Yudhishthira has done. You are not remembering that. Only one fault or whatever that you are mentioning. You don't remember his truthfulness, his forbearance, his patience, his discrimination, his dispassion, his devotion to God. Look at it. The positive way to look at people. Those who are always negative, they always find out the negative thing, even in the good. They will say, God is good, but why he has created this problem and all this. The problem is, do you know why this problem? So I was about to say many more things when Hridaya stopped my mouth. The Sri Ramakrishna is the realized God. He never cared about who is this person. Because other people are very, very careful, because anything the relation with the rich person, and naturally that counts. The ordinary people will always try to have a connection with the rich and powerful people, high and mighty. If you have a relation with the people in the higher ups, so naturally you can think that I will get these, I will get that. Those who have realized God never bother about that. So he went on telling the Yatindra what type of person you are. The similar things happened to another person also. He was a magistrate and he was a very good writer. He was a patriot and he has written books on the life of Sri Krishna. It's a very good. But the idea was not clear. So what does it mean? Even a highly placed person, an educated person, well-versed person may not be having the clear idea about life. Unless and until you have come to a person who has realized the God, you will never know what is the goal of human life. There's a Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna very clearly said, the goal of human life is God realization. And the God realization, for that what you have to do, you have to propitiate the Shakti of God. And that Shakti, the power of God, is not separated from God. Though in our culture, in our tradition, in our religion, always they try to depict the Shakti as a woman, as a lady, as a goddess. Why? Because the male-female conception is very clear in our mind. We know the father and the mother. So the creation means father and the mother. So to utilize that idea, our ancestors, the rishis, they said Shiva is male and Ma Kali, she is female. They are creating, sustaining and maintaining, destroying this universe. We understand that. And to make again one step further, they made Shiva only lying, just like a dead man. Shiva is Shava. Shava means the dead person, dead body. Shav. And this Shiva is lying like a dead body, but the mother, Kali, who is active, standing on Shiva. Not away from Shiva, on Shiva. Why? Associated, connected. Otherwise, the Shakti cannot work. So the Shiva is that intelligence, but inactive. And same thing when active, this is the explanation of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, is goddess Kali. And that is why when they were fighting, both of them, Madhu and Kaitava, fighting with the Vishnu, Bhagavan, all the gods and goddesses, they were praying to the power of God. Please, you come, you arise, and then you have to kill these two demons. And they were praying, Tvam Swaha, Tvam Swadha, Tvam hi Vashatkara, Saratmika, Sudha Tamakshari Nitye, Tridha Matra, Vikastita. Swaha, Swadha, that means whatever oblation, offering we are giving to God, it goes to you only. Whatever offering we give to our forefathers, it goes to you only. Because you are the source, you have created everything. Then in another sloka, Taiva dharyate sarvam, you are holding everything. Tvaita srijjate jagat, you have created the world. Taitat pallate devi, and you are maintaining, sustaining this world. Tvam santech sarvada, and in the end, it all merges in you. They have written in the Chandi, you are the creator, you are the sustainer, and you are the destroyer. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna himself saw totally in his front. He was sitting in a divine mood under the banyan tree at Dakshineswar. Then suddenly he saw that a beautiful lady coming up suddenly from the water of the Ganges. And from the Ganges she came on the road, and she was coming towards Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, who was sitting under the tree. And when she was coming, she became pregnant. Then she gave a birth of a child, and then she was maintaining that child and giving all love to the child. And suddenly she became a terrible figure, and the child again merged with that. Tvaitat srijyati jagat palyate, and again it is also melting and mixing in you. So he saw it. The whole creation, the power, that is why he is telling that Adya Shakti, you have to satisfy the Adya Shakti. Wherever you go and pray to the Mother, and then only you will get all the blessings. And now the Narendra and the devotees, they came to meet Sri Ramakrishna, and they were singing kirtan at the God's name. Narendra was a very good singer, and he was singing the bhajan, immerse yourself for evermore, O mind, in Him who is the pure knowledge and pure bliss. He was singing that song, and Sri Ramakrishna was very happy. Satyam Chinmaya Mama Manashahari Chidgana Niranjana. These are the Chinmaya Mama Manasahari Chidgana Niranjana and Satyam Shiva Sundaram Bhati Hridi Mandire. All these songs Sri Ramakrishna used to sing. And when they were singing, keeping Sri Ramakrishna in the center, they were dancing. If you go to that room of Sri Ramakrishna, it's not very big. But even then, they used to enjoy a lot. Still those beds which Sri Ramakrishna used to use, one bed a little, maybe 6 inches higher or 4 inches, that was his bed to sleep, and another almost similar type, very simple, ordinary wood, and that was his sitting place. He used to sit over there and discuss. This is side by side. And only a pitcher full of water that was there in the room and nothing else. And some of the pictures of gods and goddesses, including the Jesus Christ and Hanumanji, Ramachandra, and all those gods and goddesses. Some people, they are very angry with us. I heard, I went to a center, private center, and this traditional Hindu temple people, they are also Hindus. They came, they saw it, and then they had written a very strong letter to them. Why, being Hindu, you can keep, and the same altar with Sri Ramakrishna, the picture of Jesus, who is not Hindu? How this can be? Look at it. And they were asking, they are asking like this, and do you have any doubt that Jesus is God or not? Then as Sri Ramakrishna saw him, he must be God, and the God for everyone. He cannot have for some few people of a special country or some group of people, not like that. God for everyone. Maybe that your love is for Sri Ramakrishna, but it doesn't mean that you cannot respect others. What is there? They do not know what real Hinduism means. That's why they are talking like this. They are orthodox people, narrow-minded people. It has nothing to do with Hinduism. And one person also wrote to us, I visited the Vedanta Society, and I found that on the same altar, Bhagavan Buddha and Sri Ramakrishna, Buddha went out of the Hinduism and Jesus was never a Hindu. Why you have kept them? I didn't reply to him, because you won't understand. Suppose they are there, what harm to you? You have come to a temple and you are offering pranam. If you don't like to offer pranam, don't offer. You just see it, take the picture and go away. This okay. And these are the very narrow-minded, and this is the reason Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he advented this time in the modern age, and he is giving a new definition of religion. What is that? The moment you have realized God and you are having an idea about God, all this narrowness will go away. And that's why this time we have observed all this Jainism and whatever came in the different time, we have observed it. Why? Because we believe all are leading to the same goal. Because we have faith in Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's divine words. And here, after the song, the Sri Ramakrishna was in the center and they were singing and dancing. One must be very happy when one is with God. Why the kirtana? Why they sing and dance? That is the best way to express joy, happiness. And in the last November, when we are observing 150th birth anniversary, I was constantly going on telling the devotees that you must have to sing a bhajan and then you have to dance, expression of joy. When the people are coming, the Swamis are coming, you just observe, take the snaps, but it is over. No. You have to show that you are joy, and to express your joy, the song and dance. When the music is there, song is there, the best way to express our joy with rhythm, with music, with tune, that is the song. And what was the song, the meaning of that? New people have come. Esheche notun manush is a new person. Come and see, look at them. They have only two bags hanging from both sides. What is that? Tyaga and Vairagya. Du kande shada jhule. It is hanging from the both sides. Come, look at it. See. I told them to explain in English also the meaning. But anyway, this was the first time. I was also very new, and never they did. I could not make them clear my idea. So this is the way, and you should not feel shy to dance before God. Sri Ramakrishna himself used to dance before everyone. And why? I don't care about the criticism of the world. When I am very shy, why I am shy? Because what other people will talk about me. I am concerned about the world. Mirabai, who was a princess, who was a queen, she never hesitated to sing and dance on that same road where her subjects were watching. And she never thought what is going to be repercussion. Why? Not that she was calculating, but it never came in her mind. It was so much of love for God. Except God, I never know anything. So that is the reason. When music was over, Sri Ramakrishna held Naren in his arms and long time and said, if you can sing properly and express the joy through dance, God becomes so happy. This what shows. He came and held Naren for a long time and said, you have made us so happy today. This is the reason. And the same Naren, when he was singing, the young man, he saw so many people are sitting, so he was careful about the music, the tune and the rhythm and all that. That the Sri Ramakrishna didn't like him. When the song was over, he said, today your song was like without salt some curry. If you are eating something without salt, what happens? No taste at all. So your song was like that. He was singing to please the other people, not for the God. One person came to sing and he was trying to sit, keeping his back at the God. I told you, are singing for God only. Sing for God, and all other people whom you like to face, they will be very happy, even sitting at your back. So that is the thing. Our idea should be only and only and only to please God and nobody else. And that is the reason Sri Ramakrishna, and near the east door, Narendra and other devotees were gossiping. This is another thing. When they came to Sri Ramakrishna, the God in the temple, Narendra, a young man, and as the things were going on in that society, he was very conscious about that. He was talking with the M. M means the Master Mahasaya. He was telling, Narendra was telling, how do you find the young men nowadays? Even the Plato also, he said at his time, nowadays the young men are going to astray. They don't follow the tradition. This is the complaint of all the time. Naren himself was a very young man, only 18, 19 years. But even then, he was thinking the young people, they are not properly studying and not maintaining the, that's why here. They are not bad, but they don't receive any religious instruction, M was telling. They don't receive. That way, the Naren told, hey, you don't mix with the young people, I mix with them, I have seen them. What they do, they are not paying any attention for the study, they are doing this and that. Suddenly, Sri Ramakrishna, who is the Guru, this is the duty of the Guru, responsibility of the Guru. The moment he found that Narendra and Master Mahasaya, both his disciple, and they are talking about many other things except God, immediately came and Master Sri Ramakrishna became grave and said to him, he didn't say to Narendra because Narendra is very young and argumentative. The moment Sri Ramakrishna will say, you should not talk like that, immediately he will put another, why not, this is also, so like that, so he came and rectified the Master Mahasaya, who was 29, 27, 29, a little elderly person. The Master became grave and said to him, grave means he was concerned. They have come here in the temple, in a holy place, and to God himself, and even then wasting time about the worldly things. And that is not their concern. They should not be spending time. So the total attention should be on God. He came and told him rather seriously, this kind of conversation is not good. It isn't desirable to indulge in any talk but talk of God. You are their senior, you are intelligent, you should not have encouraged him to talk about such matters. He was guiding Master Mahasaya. You should not have encouraged him to talk about this. And when I was in Andaman, people there, they are good people. But in Andaman, the new civilization is coming up. When the refugees from East Bengal came, they were settled over there, and the refugees from other places also came. It's a new, totally new civilization. So they were not knowing, but good people. They came, they used to come to our ashrama in the puja time, and usually mainly at the time of the prasad. When the puja in the morning, 9 o'clock, nobody is there. Totally Thakur, Ma, Swamiji, and we three Swamis. So 6 people used to sit over there. When it is almost 12 o'clock, when the Havan is over, they used to know, his timing was there, then it will be so much crowded, because immediately after that there will be prasad, and they were interested. And the ladies will be coming and shouting inside the temple. We had a small room to sit, nearly 50, 60 people could be, and they used to, from there, oh Mashima, oh, my auntie, I didn't meet you for such a long time, where you were? Have you gone to Calcutta? I told, is this the place that you have to ask this question? You can ask afterwards. This is a temple, but this was difficult to tell them. So what I did, the moment they started coming, I told, now you continue your homa. So the homa will be when they come for, and along with that, I used to chant, I used to ask them to repeat that. Slowly, 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 they got the interest in that, and it became really a very good devotees group. And previously, when I used to read the Bhagavad Gita, only 3 persons used to come and sit. The one was from our ashrama itself, that elderly person, retired and bachelor, he was there, so he used to come and sit. And he used to bring his friend, another person, who used to come there for the walking. He will be going and forcing him to come and sit. You have done lot of exercise, come and sit. that the man will be coming and then he'll be, every Sunday he'll be grudging. And third person is to come and sit and with a very devoted like this, with a close eye, he'll be listening and noting down. But the moment I am over, he will be going out. I never could talk to him. So after 1, 2, 3, I think after fourth, I talked to him. I told, sir, please wait. I like to talk to you. You come regularly and so devotedly you listen, but I don't know your name. Then he said, Swamiji, please don't mind. I am from CBI, from the police. And as because that time the BJP movement was going on, so anyone wearing the gerua, the sannyasis, so the police used to go on noting what they are saying, etc. So you are the only sannyasi have come into Andaman. I have given this because I understand Bengali. So what discourse you are giving? I don't listen to Gita. I only note anything against the government you are telling or not. Then you have attended all the 4 lectures, so the 1 month is over. Do you find anything against government or no? So it's okay. Then he said, I am getting interest in Gita, and then they purchase 1 copy. So both things will be your duty and your dharma. So like this. And then slowly, so many people started coming, they got interested. So this is the beauty, the attraction of Sri Ramakrishna. In a very simple way, he will be explaining. Then he was asking a devotee, can you gaze who is the devotee? Sri Ramakrishna asking a devotee, do you ever have dreams? When all these things were over, after the dinner, Sri Ramakrishna was walking a little on the veranda and he found that a devotee is sitting with another person. Suddenly he came and sat with them and asked the devotee, do you ever have dreams? Do you know who is that devotee? Master Mahashaya. The Master Mahashaya, when he wanted to hide himself, he always quoted devotee, a devotee. It is he, Master Mahashaya himself. And he has always mentioned Sri Ma or the aim or the devotee like this only, so that people won't gaze who is this Mahendranath Gupta, the Master Mahashaya. Sri Ramakrishna looked at him, came and asked him, have you seen it? Do you see dreams? Then the devotee said, yes, sir. The other day I dreamed a strange dream. See, he didn't disclose. Sri Ramakrishna looked at him and found and said, I saw the whole world enveloped in water. It was merging in the water. There was water on all sides. A few boats were visible, but suddenly huge waves appeared and sank them. I was about to board a ship with the other few others when we saw a Brahmin walking over that expanse of water. I asked him, how can you walk over the deep water? The Brahmin said with a smile, oh, there is no difficulty about that. There is a bridge under the water. I said to him, where you are going? He said, I am going to Bhavanipur. Bhavani means the goddess, Pura, the place of the goddess. The city of the Divine Mother, Bhavanipur. There is a place in Calcutta called Bhavanipur. It is not that Bhavanipur. Sri Ramakrishna mentioned about the Bhavanipur, the place of the Divine Mother. Wait a little, I cried. I shall accompany you. Then that Brahmin said, and the master, Sri Ramakrishna said, oh, I am thrilled to hear the story. Again the devotee was explaining. The Brahmin said, I am in a hurry. It will take you some time to get out of the boat. Goodbye. Remember this path and come after me. Then the master, Sri Ramakrishna said, oh, my hair is standing on end. Please be initiated by a guru as soon as possible. So this, how he could understand. This was the dream that Master Mahashaya saw. And the indication is very clear. Everybody is going to be drowned by the water of worldliness. And this person somehow noticed the Brahmin, that is Sri Ramakrishna himself, and he is walking on the water. That means that it is no difficulty for God to survive in even that situation. And he said, time is not ripe for you yet. You follow this path, come after me. Then Sri Ramakrishna said, this is the very rare thing, he said, be initiated by a guru as soon as possible. This is unless and until we are taking the name from a guru, we cannot keep our mind in a proper way. This road that he has shown, you have to remember this path and you have to follow. So the initiation from a guru is necessary. And this is in Vedanta, sometime they will be telling, your mind is your guru. But for whom? Who has already controlled the mind. But for the ordinary people, it is necessary to have the initiation, to take the name of God. We go to this person, that person, do this, do that, listen, hear, read. We know so many things. But we cannot concentrate. That American boy who used to come over here, he used to go to so many places. He comes, I think, for some a month, I didn't see him. And this, he used to go to so many places, listening to so many things, reading so many books, and very intelligent. The moment I will quote from a Gita, then immediately he said, this is from this chapter. I don't know from which chapter, I just quote, I remember the sloka and relative, but he knows the chapters even. So this is the beauty, this is the special, but without the initiation, mind cannot be concentrated on a particular God. And take the initiation from a guru. He never said to me, from me, to any guru. And who can be guru? That we have to understand. The person who has already crossed that path, he only can be a guru. Otherwise not. How we will understand that? He has no desire for the worldly things. He has no hankering for name and fame. So these are the qualities that Sri Ramakrishna said before. Here again he is explaining. Bhakti, love of God, is the essence of all spiritual discipline. The love of God is the essence of all spiritual discipline. Even the Islam, even the Christianity, even the Buddhism, anywhere, the moment you are going to God, what actually we do? We pray to God. And the moment it is a prayer, moment we are going and loving that God, that part of mind or the act of mind is called bhakti. And this bhakti, afterwards Sri Ramakrishna will say, in this modern days, Naradiya bhakti. Naradiya bhakti means in previously it is only love. Here it is mixed with jnana, karma and devotion. Bhakti. The Naradiya bhakti. The bhakti, the definition, the Shandilya has given the definition of bhakti. But at this age, in the modern age, we should have to follow the path or the devotion, the description of the devotion, definition of the devotion given by the great lover of God, Narada. Tad arpita akhila acharata. Tad, to God, arpita akhila acharata. Whatever you do, everything should be given to God. Tad vishmarane, when you forgot to remember God, parama vyakulata iti. You must feel pang that today I have forgotten to take the name of God. So that called bhakti, according to Narada. This is what Bhagavan. Then one Sannyasin entered into the room of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. He is a Nanakpanthi. Nanakpanthi means a Punjabi. And he said to Master, Namo Narayana, Sri Ramakrishna asked him to sit down. A group of sannyasins, Nanakpanthis, they came and they actually greeting Sri Ramakrishna by telling Nomo Narayana. That is the traditional way the sannyasins they will be greeting. Because the pranam or the greetings that we are offering not to you but to the Narayana who is already there within you. So Namo Narayana. Then the master was talking with them. The first sentence he said, nothing is impossible for God. No body can describe his nature in words. Everything is possible for him. And then he is explaining what he said. Nothing is impossible, everything is possible for God. And then he said, nobody can describe his nature. Because the story that he already told, Nuner Putul, the doll made of the salt doll. How can it go and measure the water? Because it's made from that. The one who is actually merging in God cannot come back again to tell. And who can give the description? Personalities like Sri Ramakrishna, Jesus. Personalities like Bhagavan Buddha. Personalities like the Jain Dharma Gurus. So they have the tremendous austerity. They have realized God. And when they came back, somehow they could explain something about God. That is again not the complete. So up to this today. So next we will read next day, next Tuesday, the same time, 7:30 to 8:30, and where Sri Ramakrishna will be quoting a song where he will mention about the 6 crocodiles which are there in that water, and if you have to cross that water, what you will apply. The next day we will listen to that. Let us offer our pranam to Sri Ramakrishna. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.